Alright, so while this is booting up, I'll tell you that I've had the PSP now for a couple of weeks. I was on quick resume, so no problem there. And I'm really impressed with it. It's really fun. I'm not a huge gamer. You know, I grew up, I don't want to date myself here, but I grew up with an Atari 2600 in the house, loved arcade games. You know, play like kind of more the casual games, sports games, arcade style games than more the in-depth games. But have really, you know, this kind of is perfect for me. I took this on a trip recently. I've been playing a lot at home. There was one night I played it way too much in bed before going to sleep. I was playing Pro Evolution Soccer, and then I couldn't get to sleep because when I closed my eyes, I just saw, you know, Cristiano Ronaldo stepping over the ball and deking everybody out. But really been enjoying the PSP. But what's happened is that it's developed this weird little blemish on the screen. It's like a little dark spot. It's kind of akin to when you press on an LCD monitor, you know, and you get that little blotch and then it goes away. It's right there. It shows up, you know, it's just there all the time. It shows up more on light-colored backgrounds than on dark ones. It's not stuck pixels. It doesn't look like a stuck pixel. It just looks like a kind of a physical blemish on the screen itself. When I go into a game, you know, it doesn't really cause an issue. I'll go back into the game, and while I'm playing, I don't really notice it, because at least on the games that I've been playing, which have been Pro Evolution Soccer, Madden '09, and Ratchet and Clank so far, you know, you can see on the darker screens you don't see it at all. When the screen, you know, the screen's obviously off now as it's loading up. But when Madden comes back on, you'll see that on the main menu screen you only see it a little bit. This gets into one of my things with the PSP. The loading time and the noises it makes while it's loading, a little disappointing. But you can see, you know, on the kind of multi-gray background, you can see the dot a little bit right there. Don't want to hold it too close because you get the lines going. On this screen you see it. On this screen not so much. And then when we get into the gameplay we don't see it at all. I took the PSP back to the store where I got it, and you know, they were really nice about it, and they said, you know, we've heard a lot about scanline issues with the this is the PSP 3000. We've heard a lot about scanline issues and that kind of thing, but we haven't seen this yet. You're going to have to call Sony to see, you know, if they consider it a defect or if they consider it acceptable. So that's my next step. And the guy was really nice at the store. He said, you know, if Sony doesn't take it back, I'm just hitting this through the menu so you can see what happens when it loads up another screen. So you can hardly see it on the gray background there. You can see a little bit. If Sony doesn't, you know, just authorize it, in exchange or whatever, bring it back. I'll call my district manager, see what I can do. So the folks over at GameStop where I bought this, it's not an endorsement for GameStop. It just happens to be where I got it. They're really nice about it. So we're going to see, you know, what happens when I call Sony, what they say about it. But you know, it's not a huge deal when I'm playing games, like I said, but it's disappointing because I've had this for maybe 2 weeks now, and it really shouldn't be doing that, right? So here's on a darker screen, you don't see the spot at all, and I'll receive. So there you go. You know, not really noticing it. There it is on the dark green background. You get the idea. So there you go, my first week or two with the PSP. Really enjoying the gameplay. A little disappointed by the build quality. The whole thing feels a little lightweight, which is nice, but a little cheap. You know, the door kind of wobbles. The buttons feel a little wobbly. It makes a lot of noise from the disc when it's scanning. But so far, the actual gameplay, it's really fun. So there you go. If anybody else out there has had any similar problems with your PSP. And I know, folks, let's get me on camera here so you can see while I'm talking. I know there have been problems. I know the scanline problem is something that folks have been talking about a lot on the internet and whatever. But if you've had a similar problem to me with that blotch, you know, kind of like you're using an LCD monitor and you press on it and you get the little splotch there, definitely hit us up in the comments or go over to phonedog.com to the forums. Make your voice heard. In the meantime, I'll let you know what happens when I call Sony customer service, see if we can get this resolved. And you know, once I'm hooked up, maybe I'll see you online. You can kick my butt in Madden. All right, for GadgetDog and PhoneDog, I'm Noah. We'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in.